we're back. This is Where You Live with Gene and Tony, and we're broadcasting live from the Concierge Landscape Studios. We're brought to you by Extreme Exteriors. Let's hear now from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by Start to Finish Maintenance Contractors. Start to Finish provides 24-hour service for all of your home and business maintenance needs. Call Start to Finish at 952-259-1219 for your home, for your business, for your peace of mind.
Are you a member of the Community Associations Institute? For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit caionline.org to learn more. That address again is caionline.org. CAI helps community association board members by providing online resources, in-person training, and hard copy publications written by association management experts. CAI offers community managers professional development, networking opportunities, and a certification program that's established as the industry standard nationwide. Minnesota has its own chapter of the Community Associations Institute to bring resources and tools from community associations around the country right to your home. Visit CAIMN.com to learn more and become a member of CAI today. Your community and management company will benefit from your involvement. Join the Community Associations Institute today at CAIMN.com and click on Membership.
In this last segment today, we're wrapping up a story of two communities, low-income communities in Madison, Wisconsin. One a success story, the other not so much. We're comparing the two, correct?
That's right.
And one thing you brought up right at the end of the last segment was that the president or vice president of the Homeowners Association of Twin Oaks seems to have a really great approach. It seems that their association and their board are really doing some things correctly to make a tight-knit neighborhood, aren't they?
Yes. Some of the concerns that there are have to do with some of the children and some of the kids. They said that some of the interaction between kids in the neighborhoods are like a lot of kids in neighborhoods. There's disagreements because of unsupervision. There can be a little bit of vandalism. It's kids being kids,
right?
You know, and but there was something very important that they were doing, and there was supervision being taking place.
Supported and encouraged, actually,
yes,
by the community. And
that seems to be the key issue right there. You mentioned to me off the air, talking about what it was when you and I were kids.
That's right.
Growing up.
100 years ago.
It was not uncommon to... If I did something wrong, I remember this. I'll tell a story.
Yeah, let's get specific here.
I was a hellion. There's no doubt about it. And I had two sisters, one older, one younger. My parents went out to dinner, leaving my older sister in charge. And God bless her, she really tried.
Hey, I was that older sister in charge. I empathize completely with her position.
I remember running around like I think I had a loincloth and I had a plunger, thinking it was a spear, and I was threatening to toss it on my sisters, and so she ran down the hall to the bathroom. As I flung my plunger, she closed the door, and we had a mirror on there, and it just stuck right on there. And so I went to pull it off, and the time that I went to pull off the plunger, she was opening the door, and the mirror came off.
Wow.
A full-length mirror off of the door came down, and it didn't break.
Wow.
Well, I called our next-door neighbor, Mr. Nelson, because he was a carpenter and all that. And I thought, Mr. Nelson, will you come? And he was laughing. He would tell me stories about him being, being a boy, growing up. And so I thought, he understands. And so he was putting on the mirror, and I said, no, don't tell my folks, please. And he was laughing. And he told my parents. I got in trouble. Yeah. But it wasn't uncommon.
That's right.
If something happened, there was not this presupposition that parents had back in the day that if one adult talked to you about your kid, they didn't put the other adult in question.
Right. It wasn't a criticism. It was a situation where everybody was watching out for everyone else's kids.
Yes.
And keeping all kids safe, keeping all kids from fights, from hurting each other, from damaging property. There were many, many eyes in the neighborhood, and you were not going to get away with much.
No.
And we knew it. So we were careful about our behavior.
And that seems to be that missing element that is working here at this property at Twin Oaks and right next to...
And that's really what they meant by creating a Leave It to Beaver type neighborhood. They're fostering and supporting this kind of interaction. They want the neighbors to get to know each other and get to know each other's kids so that they can, I'm sure, call them by name and call them to task if they're doing something wrong.
Well, yeah, and we talked about it all the time. When you're dealing with difficult neighbors in a rental situation, in a condo, in a townhome, it is people are a lot less likely to do something that is irritating if you know one another by first name.
I had a similar situation happen. I live in a rental community, and the door that we go in and out is on the back of the community. It's not used a lot, and there's a handful of kids that live over there. Probably oldest 6 or 7. There's a handful of little kids, and they love to play there. There's a lawn, and there's a lot of shrub beds with a lot of rocks. And one day I was going out with our little dog to take the dog outside, and a woman was coming in, and she looks at me, she goes, "Oh, those kids out there are throwing those rocks everywhere." And she was so disgusted, she was shaking her head. And I went out, and sure enough, there were a bunch of landscape rocks thrown in the driveway and all these little kids. And I walked out, I looked at the kids, I said, "Hey, who's been throwing the rocks over here?" "Oh, we did. We were doing that." I said, "You know what? You need to pick all of them up because they belong over here with the shrubs." By the time I was done walking the dog and came back, they had picked up all the rocks. They'd put them back where they belong.
And they were happy to do that.
They were fine. I said, "Hey, you guys did a really good job." And I walked in. They don't know me. I wasn't mean to them.
Yeah, you're not going on a rant.
I was telling them what my expectation was.
And you weren't like the other person just being powerless, powerless and disgusted. And I'm just a victim here.
Yeah,
you take the time to do that, and that's what was happening here. And I thought, what a great idea, just to be able to call out kids and just say, "Hey, you know what? Don't stand on that fence. Come down."
That's right. That's right. Either you or the fence is going to be hurt.
Yeah, and that kind of thing is needed. Our hats go off to Krista Foll and the folks at Twin Oaks here for recognizing that is one of the missing pieces. I think just in our society, and not just homeowner associations, but I think just neighborhoods everywhere.
I agree. The
other thing I think that probably would be good to take a look at, I don't know if we have time to do that, it would be interesting with these two properties and the issues. There's probably a little bit of an issue with the person who is the reluctant landlord in this other property where they couldn't sell, not taking a active investment in his property.
That could be
because you don't get an automatic good property as a landlord. You've got to put time and effort in it, and the people that you're screening and setting expectations, sharing the rules and regulations too. Yeah, that also helps. But that's basically the same thing that we were talking about with Twin Oaks, taking some investment in the people around you.
That's right. I tell people at my talks, my seminars, I don't care what those late night infomercials are telling you, rental property is not a hands-off job.
That's right.
It's work.
Yep. Well, we're out of time, folks. Thanks so much for joining us here this Sunday. Have a great rest of the weekend. We look forward to having you back next Sunday right here on Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
Is to be loved by